It just got warm this morning already. Well, it's about mid-morning. I guess it's almost dinner time. I've been working in the kitchen all morning, putting up food. I need to get cleaned up because I got to go to an event at church tonight. But before I do that, I want to come out and pick some of the blueberries. I don't see many ripe ones down here. We've been eating them as fast as they get ripe. And I'm going to try to find some because I want to make a dessert to take to church, and I want to make a blueberry dessert. So I just really need enough, probably about a cup might do it, but at least about 2 cups. If I could get 2 cups, I'd be really happy. I'm going to start with these down here in the shade just because it has got so warm. But then I'm going to have to go to the ones in the sunshine. And that's probably where most of the ripe ones are. These are our later barren blueberries. But maybe they have a few on them. I see a lot of weeds over there. I'm going to have to fight the weeds. Of course, I'm having to eat as many as I pick. Well, I think I got about all the ripe ones here. Now I'll go back in the back and see. I probably almost got enough, but I'll get a few more. Now I see one over there I missed. Probably missed several, but this time of the year, my kitchen stays very, very messy because I'm just so busy putting up all the wonderful goodness that Matt and I grow. It's such a joy to grow it. It's a joy to put it up. It's especially a joy to open it up, or whether it's dried or frozen or in jars, open that on a cold winter day and enjoy it. Good, wholesome food, and then knowing that we grew it and we know what's in it and all that kind of stuff. So I have stuff cooling here. This is what I was working on this morning. This is my pickles here my dill pickles that I was working on this morning. I've got stuff that needs to be took to the basement, put on our pantry shelves. I don't know if you can see in the camera if it picks it up, but my counter over here is just covered with tomatoes and squash and zucchini and cucumbers that I need to do something with. And then behind the camera I have more. I have green beans and potatoes sitting on the floor, different things. I even have some wonderful canned things that our friend Gerald made. So this is squash relish. I can't wait to try that. And then he also sent some pepper rings. Some are hot, but most of them he said were mild. So I know Matt will love those, and I'm sure Austin will too. Gerald, I've ate his pickled stuff before, and it's delicious. So good. He's like part of our family, really. He's known our family for so many years and so long. He feels more like part of the family than a friend. But anyway, I've even got stuff that people are sharing with me in my kitchen, so that's really wonderful. Now I'm finally ready to make my dessert that I'm going to take to church tonight. It's in mine and Jim's book, Celebrating Southern Appalachian Food, and it's on page 198 if you have the cookbook, and it's the Summer Upside Down Cake. Very simple to put together, very pretty. It's really a beautiful presentation, but really simple. But most importantly, of course, it tastes really, really good. I've been making it for years and years, and I don't remember where I first found the recipe, way back, certainly prior to having a YouTube channel, but probably even prior to having a blog on the, my blog, Blind Pig and the Acorn. Way back, I've been making it for that long. It's really easy. It's like it says, upside down, so it puts you in the mind of like a pineapple upside down cake. You could use pineapples, you could use peaches, you could use raspberries, strawberries, whatever kind of fruit you prefer. I most often make it with blueberries because we grow a lot of blueberries. So I love to make it, like I picked the blueberries this morning, make it with fresh blueberries this time of the year. But it's also really good. A lot of our blueberries, once we've eat our fill and made maybe some things like this, different desserts, but we'll freeze them. We just spread them out on a baking sheet, put that baking sheet in the freezer, let them freeze, and then once they're really frozen, get them out and then put them like in a Ziploc bag or something, and that way you can just get a handful out if you need them. So it's really good like that too if you have frozen fruit. It works fine. Jim Cassida, my friend who helped me write the cookbook, he has lots of blueberry bushes around his place, and he likes to dry blueberries. So he reconstitutes the blueberries and uses them, I think. Let's see what he does. He's got that recipe in here too. Let's see if he reconstitutes them or if he just throws them in. I think you could just throw them in, but let's see what Jim does while we're thinking about it. I've never used dried ones. I learned the recipe from me many years ago, and then he kind of made it his own. Okay, he does reconstitute them. Reconstitute enough to cover, the bottom of the pan. So anyway, lots of different ways to make this cake, and all of them delicious. So I will link to the recipe of this. I have it on the Blind Pig and the Acorn. I will link to that, but I'll also read it out here for you. So you need 3/4 cup butter, but you need it divided. You're going to use it in two different ways. 1/2 cup brown sugar packed. Your favorite fruit, whatever it is, just enough to cover. That's another reason I love this, because I can use, y'all know I love my cast iron. I cook in it every day of the world. So I can use just a cast iron pan. This is a number 8. I was going to say Griswold. It's not. It's a Wagner. And just enough to cover the bottom. I will say though, if you're having a big crowd, like recently I had a big crowd here, I just doubled the whole recipe, and then I just used my really big frying pan instead of this. And you can also use a cake, you wouldn't have to use cast iron if you don't have it. You can use a cake pan, would be just fine, 9-inch cake pan. Okay, let me just start all over. So if you're writing it down, I've probably already confused you. So 3/4 cup butter divided, 1/2 cup brown sugar, your favorite fruit, enough to cover bottom of 9-inch cake pan or cast iron pan, 1 cup sugar, 2 large eggs at room temperature, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 cup all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, and 1/2 cup sour cream. So now we'll put it together. It goes together pretty fast, pretty quickly, but you do have to cook it for about 45 minutes, so it takes longer to cook it than it does to put it together. But now I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is, got my cast iron here, and if you used a cake pan, you could just melt the butter and then pour it in there. But I'm just going to put it right here on the stove, and this is 1/4 of that 3/4 cup butter. This is 1/4 of a cup there. We're going to let that melt. While that's melting, I need to melt the rest of the butter too, the 1/2 cup that's left. So I just put it in one of my little frying pans, and I'm going to just put it on the stove and let it melt while this is melting too. Now that the butter is melted, I'm just going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to take our brown sugar and put it in. I get all of it. Kind of stir it around in the butter. And once you've got it combined, just try to evenly put it around the pan best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then you take your fruit, whatever kind of fruit you're using. Of course, I'm using the blueberries, and just sprinkle them on top in a layer. blueberries makes it really easy. Now if you did peaches or pineapple or anything like that, you could chop them up into little cubes and do it that way, or you could lay them out like in slices. You could do apple too. Just in a single layer. Thought about doubling the recipe for tonight at church, but there'll be so many other people bring desserts. I think I'll just do the single. I think that's pretty good. I just keep seeing a little hole here and there. It's another good thing about blueberries. You can just squish them in. One more little spot. I was afraid I had way too many blueberries that I picked. Not that it would matter, we'll just eat them, but I've about used them all. Other than just about a handful, which of course I can quickly eat. Okay, I think that's good. Maybe one more right there. The next step is basically to mix everything else together and pour it on top of those beautiful blueberries. So we're going to add our sugar, eggs, and vanilla, and we're going to beat them for about 2 minutes. Now we're going to beat it for 2 minutes. And we're going to add flour and our baking powder and salt and mix just till combined. That's good. The only thing left is to add the sour cream. We're going to put it in a 350 oven for about 45 minutes or till done. And then I'll show you how beautiful it turns out. So I got the cake out of the oven and I let it sit for a few minutes. Actually, I let it sit for too long and I tried to turn it out of the pan and it did not come out. I think it's because I let it sit till the point the sugar kind of solidified. So I warmed it back up on the eye. Let's see if that helped it. I always take a spatula and go around the edges, and usually it just turns right out, but I went off back through the house trying to do something else and then come back and it did not come out. There it comes. Now, there, thank goodness. So you can see it's a really pretty presentation. And you could leave it in the pan and just scoop it out. It'd be delicious that way. But it makes a really, really pretty presentation if you turn it over and put it out. All the blueberries just cook up nicely. Normally I would let it sit there about 5 minutes or something and then it comes out. Like I said, I went off back through the house and kind of forgot about it and then come back and I tried to get it out the first time, it wouldn't come out. So if that happens to you, do like I did and take it back to the stove and just sit it on a hot stove ice, what we call them, stove burner if you don't call them that, and turn it on and let it just kind of melt that sugar again. The brown sugar and the blueberries is what happened, made it stick to the bottom of the pan. But it's really, really a beautiful dessert if I don't throw it out. Really pretty. Now, do I taste it for you or do I not? Because I'm taking it somewhere. I think I'm going to taste it. I'm just going to cut one little piece out of the corner. I'm going to take one bite. That's a good thing though about going places where you know you're well loved and everybody there is in fellowship and agreement. They're not going to care. and they might not even notice. So I've just got a little bite here. The blueberries are delicious with that sugar. It's real sweet. But the cake, I think it's the sour cream that gives the cake such a nice texture. Since I've been making this cake, I always think sometime I should make my cake like if I was going to make a chocolate cake or just a cake that I iced, put frosting on, that I should use this recipe and make my cake layers and then do it. I've never done that, but I need to. Now that I've said it, maybe I will. But it's just a really beautiful dessert that's really fairly easy to make too. I love that we can use our fresh blueberries, but again, it would be good with blackberries, raspberries. One of my jars just popped and pinged. That's a great sound, is the pinging of jars. Peaches would be really beautiful, so whatever fruit you would like would be good. If you try it, I really hope you like it as much as my family does, and I hope everybody at church likes it tonight. I think they will. I'm always glad when you stop by to help me celebrate Appalachia.